We're live! Yay, we're live! And I know there's a delay, so I'm gonna wait a few seconds. And let everybody join. All my invisible friends. Okay. So now I just feel awkward because I'm just sitting here waiting for people to join and waiting for the YouTube to catch up to the Google Hangout. Okay. Anybody out there? Can you hear? Can you see it yet? It's still delayed. That's a long delay. Should be. Okay, well, I'm just going to talk and it's going to record because that's what it did during the test run. So, hey, everybody, it's Missy Lynn Ryan, and I am very, very excited to be here today to celebrate the release of my first urban fantasy novel, Forbidden Alpha. You can see the cover kind of way back here. Yeah. So that's the book we're celebrating. I'm so excited that everybody is joining me today to celebrate this. And I'm trying to give people a little bit of time to log into the YouTube feed because we're streaming there live. So if you're on the Facebook page, you need to click the link and go to the YouTube link so that you can actually watch the video. And I will say this is my first time using Google Hangout live. So hopefully there won't be any kind of technology glitches, but I have friends and family here and they are helping me out. And if you see anything weird or wonky, or you're having trouble asking a question or getting onto the stream, type it in the chat, one of the chats, or post it on the wall, and we will answer your questions and try and resolve any issues. So if there's like something weird with the audio or the video stops, let us know. Okay, are we good to go? We're good. Okay, so just a quick overview of what we're going to do today on our celebration, besides celebrating. I am actually going to do a quick reading of Chapter 2 in the Forbidden Alpha novel. So this is the first urban fantasy novel in the Love Sex Magick series. So you'll get a snippet of that. The book becomes live tomorrow, and you can pre-order it now, and the link is on the YouTube page. So feel free to click there, check it out on Amazon. You can place your order now, and it'll be delivered to you tomorrow, or you can purchase it tomorrow when it's live on Amazon. Another thing that we're going to do is a question and answer kind of Q&A. So we have some questions that were submitted. If you want to submit a question, and I think you get extra giveaway entry tickets if you do that, you can submit in the chat or the comments section on the Facebook page or on the YouTube page, and we'll try and answer it, but that's another way to get entered into the raffle. So hopefully folks will do that as well. What else? Oh, so we have 5 raffles. They were all posted on the Facebook page. Check them out if you didn't see them. They're bundles of 3 books each, and some of them have a little extra special gift from J.R. Ward. So that's cool. If you don't get one of the raffles, we also have a special sort of door prize giveaway for everybody who attends. So by watching this, you'll get a chance to see that link and get a little bonus at the end. So stay tuned, more to come on that. And I think that is it. Okay, we've had a couple more people join. Hello, everybody. So for new folks who don't know, like I said, my name is Missy Lynn Ryan. I write contemporary romance and paranormal romance and urban fantasy. I have 2 novels or 2 books out right now that you can purchase today. That is Dirty Little Liars and Trouble with Vodka, and those are 2 very steamy contemporary romance novels. And then Forbidden Alpha is paranormal romance, urban fantasy. It is about a half-blood gypsy matchmaker who helps supernaturals find love, and it's a lot of fun. The series will likely end up being, well, we have 3 books scheduled for release, and the second book will come out likely in the end of October. So if you're interested in catching the second book and you like this first book, you should definitely sign up for my newsletter. And that way you'll get notified when the book is available. Yay. So that's fun stuff. So there's definitely lots of books in that series as well. Yeah, so I guess I will do, should I do the reading now? I guess I'll do the reading now, and then we can do fun raffle stuff. So remember, the link to the raffles is in the description for the YouTube page. So if you click that, it'll take you to the raffle copter page, and you can actually sign in and enter. I think most people are probably familiar with it. It tells you to do random things, and you click to verify that you've done it, and then you get entered into the drawing. And so we'll do the drawing at the end of this broadcast. So you kind of have to be present to win. And then we'll do the bonus fun stuff as well. Okay, so I'm gonna start and I'm gonna do a quick reading. This is from chapter 2 of Forbidden Alpha. And this is one of my favorite scenes. I love this scene. And to give you a little bit of context, the main character is Kai Masick, and she is our gypsy matchmaker. And she has been in Hawaii, and she's schmoozing with business professionals and trying to get clients, but she finds out that there's a crisis back home in San Francisco. So she is on her way back home to put out some fires. And this is part of her experience, her adventure on her way back to San Francisco. Okay. A Jets for Hire employee greeted us on the tarmac in a black Lincoln Town car with severely tinted windows. He escorted us to a semi-private entrance where we were screened by security with other high-profile guests and given updated boarding passes. On the one bright side about being upgraded, I knew my luggage wasn't going to get lost. The underpaid baggage handler followed us through each checkpoint, our bags stacked high on a luggage cart until we reached our departure gate. I watched as he shuffled to the elevator, wheeled the cart outside, and added our bags to the mountain of suitcases waiting to be loaded. I was mindlessly counting the bags when someone nudged me on the shoulder. I hope you chose sweet over salty, I said, expecting to see Yasmin. When I turned around, I was wrong. It was Ethan Taylor, my ex-fiance. For most women, running into an ex was a little jarring, but not the end of the world. It was bound to happen sooner or later, especially if you were living in the same city. But Ethan and I were different. We dated decades ago in New York City during the awkward demise of 70s disco and the prelude to 80s pop. I was young and foolish for thinking I could have a normal and healthy relationship with a human. It was a bad idea. And when I came to my senses, I called off the wedding and moved across the country. I hadn't seen or heard from the guy since. Now, here he was, grinning back at me, clearly enjoying my bewilderment. He should have been nearing retirement, but like me, Ethan looked as if he'd hardly aged a day. His skin was smooth and wrinkle-free. His thick chestnut hair had just a smattering of gray, and his body was still fit and trim. Ethan pulled me into a tight hug. Even through his cotton t-shirt, the coolness of his skin made me shiver. I could practically taste the death of his aura. It clung to my skin as he pulled away. I struggled to wrap my mind around what I was seeing, what my magic was telling me. Ethan, my Ethan, had gone vampire. I can't believe it's you, he said. My head started to spin as I attempted to piece together a decent greeting in return. You look amazing as always, he continued. His gaze roamed over me. You are... He laughed, which only unnerved me more. Yes, he said. Shortly after you broke my heart, I found myself alone and miserable in Miami. I guess you could say I had the unfortunate luck of running into an elder vamp who seduced me into crossing over. I noted the sarcasm in his tone. I'm sorry, I said, and then stumbled into a chair beside the window before my legs gave out. I thought you were dead, he finished. No, I said honestly. Married, with kids, maybe a few grandbabies or something. You were supposed to have a normal life. Is that why you left me? So that I could have a normal life? I sighed and closed my eyes, not wanting to see the painful reminder of the man whose heart I broke all those years ago. I loved him once, more than I cared to admit. He was my haven, my sanctuary in a world of chaos. a breath of fresh air in the suffocating magical underworld I was chained to. When everything with my dead mother and my felon father became too much, Ethan was my saving grace. Despite all odds, Ethan had managed to worm his way into my heart, and a piece of me died when I gave him up. But I did it to protect him from the evils of my world, from people like my father, and my father's ever-growing list of enemies. In the end, it hadn't mattered. The supernatural still managed to claim him. "I'm sorry," he apologized, sensing my guilt. That was a little direct, even for me. I didn't bother to open my eyes. I wanted him to go away and take his mountain of unresolved emotional issues with him. Maybe this was all a bad dream. In a few minutes, I'd wake up on the plane beside Yasmin, and life would be normal again. Okay, so maybe not normal, but as normal as a gypsy could expect. I forced my eyes open just as Ethan crouched down beside me. Nope, no bad dream. I was still in this bloody airport with my stupid ex confronting me about the demise of our relationship. "How is this possible?" I muttered. "You want me to explain the birds and the bees of vampire conception?" "No, I mean, how are you standing here in daylight, waiting to board a plane?" It didn't make any sense. In fact, as far as I knew, it was impossible for a vampire to roam around during the day. Maybe I was dreaming after all. Ethan took up a hard plastic seat beside me. I watched as his hand slipped into his pocket and pulled out a bottle of Tylenol. "This is the stuff of the gods," he said. I frowned. "Over-the-counter meds?" A few months ago, I came across an extremely gifted alchemist who was on a mission to shake things up in the magical community. He twisted off the cap and revealed something that clearly wasn't an OTC painkiller. This is one of his concoctions. It allows vampires to become temporarily immune to daylight. My heart began to drum a little faster in my chest. The Intermagical Council did not look favorably on unauthorized magic that enhanced or degraded the powers of other supernaturals. 400 years ago, the practice of oleomagic led to the demise of dozens of supernatural races and caused an international war. Gypsies were one of the largest casualties, targeted because of our ability to identify compatible mates across species and create new breeds of magic. With the amount of prejudice my own family name carried, even the hint of Ethan involved in something so controversial left me queasy. "Isn't that illegal?" I asked, even though I already knew it was. "Trust me, the after effects are punishment enough. The older the vamp, the quicker it wears off. Once your time is up, you're completely dead to the world for 2 or 3 times longer than the stupid elixir lasts, daylight or not. Besides, it only lasts a few hours." I stared back at him, still trying to fathom how he could justify his illegal activities. "Are you insane?" He smiled. "Getting the chance to see you was completely worth it." Oh my God. I was really living the nightmare from hell. As if I didn't have enough problems to deal with, now I had a rebellious vamp consuming illegal magic stalking me. "If the Intermagical Council finds out about this, you are screwed. And trust me, the last thing in the world I need right now is to be on the IMC's radar." "Don't be so paranoid. No one is going to find out." He placed his hand on my thigh. It was supposed to be comforting, but it made the macchiato for breakfast seem like a very stupid idea. I wondered if I would have time to brush my teeth if I threw up in the airport. "Could you back up a little?" My voice was breathy and weak, though I was certain he heard me perfectly. Ethan stood and took a step back, leaning casually against the glass window. Against the glass window I'd been staring out of before he nearly gave me a heart attack. I don't know how long we stayed like that, each of us lost in our own thoughts. "Kai," Ethan called out. His tone was almost as hard as the look in his eyes. "I'm going to be straight here. When I found out what you were, the secret you kept from me throughout our entire relationship, I was pissed. A part of me seriously wanted to rip out your throat and dump your body in the Grand Canyon." I gasped, but Ethan continued as if there wasn't anything menacing in his words. "That was years ago. I realized I was less angry at you than the fact that you didn't trust me with your secret. You never even gave us a fighting chance. Anyway, I started questioning what might have been if you knew I crossed over. What would our life together be like as equals, 2 supernaturals in love?" His words gnawed at my insides. He might have been freed with his crossing over to become a vampire, but I was still ensnarled in a world of half-truths and double lives. I tried not to think of the half-truths I was telling Yasmin. It wasn't the same. I was keeping secrets to protect her. Of course, I'd kept secrets to protect Ethan too, and look how well that turned out. I told the voice in my head to shut up. Ethan continued, I never really thought I'd see you again until that 40 Under 40 article came out. Ugh, I knew the article. Time magazine profiled 40 CEOs of Fortune 500 companies that were under 40 years of age. Technically, it had been just shy of 20 years since I'd celebrated my 40th birthday, but humans put too much trust in physical appearance and the date of my birth on my ID, which was doctored to make me look 32. The photographer had a field day at the shoot, playing up my good looks and flirty style. I mean, how could you be in the business of love without a little sex appeal, he cooed. The photo I'd least expected, me practically topless in a Hugo Boss miniskirt, Victoria's Secret bra, and blood red Louboutin heels, wound up on the cover. Thankfully, the manila folder I'd been holding left at least a little to the imagination. The photo itself made me a recognizable name in the male-dominated business circles. There were times I was still getting used to that. My insides were knotted tighter than a rusted metal coil as I thought of Ethan picking up a copy of the magazine from the newsstand. How would I have felt randomly stumbling upon him bare-chested on the cover of GQ? His voice pulled me back to the present. I saw that photo, and it was like nothing had ever changed. I spent years hating you, and suddenly I had to get you back in my life. I just couldn't figure out a way of doing it without freaking you out. Wait a minute, I cut in. Please tell me this meeting is a coincidence, right? You didn't plan to ambush me in the airport. No, well, not originally. I mean, I've been trying to get a meeting with you all week, but the receptionist kept telling me you were unavailable. I waited in the office lobby for nearly 8 hours before I learned you weren't even in the city. Fine, you discovered I was out of town. That still doesn't explain how you could have known I was coming back early or flying through LAX, unless I knew the answer before he said it. Warren Raynard was coming back to bite me in the ass for a second time in less than 24 hours. Ethan started to take a step forward and then thought better of it. I mentioned I was trying to track you down, and Warren informed me that he was going to personally retrieve you from your beachside vacation. He might have also mentioned that I should secure a seat on a flight from LA to San Francisco. The PA system buzzed to life, and a frazzled flight attendant made the first call for Flight 1428 to San Francisco. Ethan reached into his wallet and pulled out his boarding pass. First class? He asked, and I nodded. I need to wait for my assistant before I board. We're seated together. Right, he said. I'm going to go ahead, but I'll see you inside. I watched Ethan fiddle with his BlackBerry as he boarded, and I wondered if it was too late to switch to a different flight. Once he was inside, I could accidentally miss the flight and go standby. Of course, that might mean taking coach instead of first class, but it would be worth it, wouldn't it? Who was that? Yasmin asked, rushing over to my side with a box of pastries. I'd been so absorbed by Ethan that I hadn't noticed her studying the two of us from a few feet away. No one, I said. I took the box from her so I could peek inside. 2 cheese croissants and a slice of pound cake, sugar, fat, and grease, the staples of any American airport. Lucky for me, it was the perfect distraction. I picked at the pastries for another 15 minutes until Yasmin pointed out that the stewardess was eyeing us as she announced last call. With much disdain, I boarded the plane, only to stop dead in my tracks when I realized the 2 remaining seats in first class were not in the same row. Panicked, I glanced down at my ticket, which read 3A. I glanced up again, and Ethan waved back at me. He was in the aisle seat beside mine. I turned around to face Yasmin. I thought we were seated together. She glanced down at her ticket and frowned. I guess not. She held a ticket out in front of me. 6D, she said. And then she handed me my laptop. Have fun. If her name hadn't been on the ticket, I would have bet money she swapped seats with Ethan to do a little matchmaking of her own. But that was crazy. This wasn't a conspiracy to bring down Kai. At least not yet. Okay, so that was chapter 2. And so you can see that Kai has her hands full, and she's a very, very busy lady with lots of surprises happening early on in the book. And I hope that you will check it out and see what happens between her and Ethan, as well as some of the fun adventures with Yasmin. So how are we doing on time? Okay, so we're about 20 minutes in. Okay, so a couple of reminders for those of you. I see some more people have joined. I just did a quick reading. If you want to sign in, or if you want to register for the raffle prizes, we have 15 books that we're giving away. And so you need to click on the link to the Rafflecopter page, and the link should be in the YouTube description, and you can check it out there. I think there's also a link on the Facebook page. I think it says giveaways, and you can click that, and it'll take you to the Rafflecopter page as well. But you definitely want to get on there, sign up, click all the little confirmations so that you get entered into the drawing, because I'll be doing those at the end of the stream. And what else? I'll also be giving away some fun reads for everybody who joins. So stay tuned so that you know how to get copies of those. Okay, so next we're gonna do some fun random Q&A things, and I have some questions. If you have questions, please send them submit them on the comments feed or on the Facebook event page, and I will try my best to answer them. I'm hopping back and forth so that I can see what's happening on all the other pages as well. But definitely feel free to post a question on there. Do we have any questions? I have questions, but has anybody submit anything? Okay, cool. So I'm going to start with my questions that we got before the event started. So one of the questions, okay, so the first question I have been asked a couple of times, especially when people were reading early copies of the book, was how do you pronounce the characters' names? So particularly Kai, which is actually spelled like chai, like the drink, but it's pronounced Kai. And so you see the character say that over and over to people as they meet her, and that becomes her sort of stick. And she also has a best friend who calls her Latte because he knows how annoyed she gets when people call her chai. And so it's just a play on the chai latte drinks, which is like one of my favorite drinks, and that's how I came up with the name, because I don't drink coffee, I only drink tea. So that's one thing. And then there's another character's name in here. So there's Yasmin, who is Kai's assistant, and then there is Sham, who is one of Kai's friends, and they're in several of the books, so you'll become very familiar with them. But those are some pronunciation guides. Another question, how many books are going to be in the series? So right now I have outlined the series for 7 books. Like I said, the second book is Forbidden Liaisons, and that'll be out at the end of October, so stay tuned, because in the next week or two there probably will be a pre-order up on Amazon for that book, so I'm very excited. And that one is, it's a fun book because it actually uses Yasmin, the assistant, as the main character. So you get to see this whole world from another character's point of view. And that's a lot of fun. And those series will go back and forth between Kai and Yasmin. And then the third book is Forbidden Magic, and that will probably be out in the beginning of the next year, unless I get a lot of free time to make the rest of the edits. So that's where we are there. What other things can I share? Oh, so favorite book, favorite author. I don't really have a favorite author, or I don't have a favorite book, because I read too many books and I read too many genres to have like one favorite. And I like a lot of books for a lot of different reasons. But as a reader, I am like still obsessed with Harry Potter. So they're like my favorite series of all times, and I've read them multiple times, and I have them on audio, and I listen to them usually around the holidays, because there's something about Jim Dale's voice that makes me think of like holidays. So I do re-listen to them, and I really enjoy them. And actually I'm reading right now, I think it's The Cuckoo's Calling, which is by Robert Galbraith, but that is actually J.K. Rowling's pen name. So I'm still reading her books. But that it's interesting, and there's nothing supernatural in it, but it's just a fun sort of like traditional classic mystery novel. And I find that I tend to like specific authors because of their style and their tone. And I think J.K. Rowling is one of them. Other authors I really like. I'm a huge John Green fan. So again, I had 2 YA authors there, but I love young adult literature. And I think John Green has a good, amazingly funny and creative voice. And I don't do funny very well. Funny is very hard. So when I find somebody who writes funny really well, I enjoy it. What else? Any other questions? You guys have any questions for me? I have my family and friends in the wings watching. So if you hear me talking to them, or if you hear my dog bark, that's because I'm in my house. Any questions? You can talk.
Where'd you come up with the idea?
So there's a question about where I came up with the idea for the characters. Well, I always think of characters individually first before I think of plot ideas. And I'm not really sure, because this book I started writing years ago, and then I stopped writing to go to grad school, and then I came back and dusted it off and cleaned it up. But I remember specifically, I had a set of characters in mind, and when I started writing them, they completely changed. And so the couple that I thought was going to be the couple was not the couple, and other people were dying that I didn't expect to die. So I will say in this book in particular, the characters really just blossomed on the page themselves. I didn't have to do a lot of discovery work, because every time I thought I knew what the character was going to be like, they turned out to be different when I actually put them in a scene and tried to write and see what they would enjoy. But the one thing I like about this series in particular is that it's actually a pretty diverse sort of group of characters. And Kai Masick, who's the main character in this book, I actually was inspired by an Indian actress. And I just thought she was one of the most gorgeous women I'd ever seen. She does a ton of Bollywood movies. And that was my inspiration. I wanted somebody that was sort of exotic and very girly and sexy, and that could be fun, but also lived on the fringe of this sort of darker supernatural world and had this baggage of her father and all his past crimes. So that's really where she came from. And then everybody around her kind of shifted depending on what she needed and what her backstory was. So where are we at? We're about 30 minutes in. Any last questions before I move on? Fun stuff. If you have a question, you can submit it. We're trying to pay attention to all the different pages where people are. I'll answer this one. So what do you do when you're not writing? Which is, I do read, but I haven't read as much as I used to, because I always feel guilty when I'm reading, because I'm I should be writing. But other things I do, I watch a lot of TV. I really like television, and I think there's some really great writing out there. I'm not a big reality TV fan, because I just love story-driven plots. But I am a huge fan of the Vampire Diaries before last season. We won't talk about last season. A fan of the originals, and I love political dramas. Huge fan of Scandal, and anything that Shonda Rhimes does. I think she's brilliant and amazing. And what else do I do? I play video games. I play The Sims a lot. So I'm usually doing one of those two things, or doing a Zumba dance class if I have free time, which is rare. I don't have a lot of free time. Okay, so let's move on, because I don't want to stay on this too much. Giveaways and raffles, reminders for people who are joining. And I'm going to actually check and see who's entered into the giveaways. If you're having trouble, the giveaway link is in the YouTube page description, so you can click on that. It should take you to a Rafflecopter page where you can actually enter into the drawing. So let me see. You have a question?
Yeah.
Shoot. Go ahead.
This person wants to know, how long did it take you to write Forbidden
That is a good question. So I started Forbidden Alpha years ago, probably around 2010, I would say. So it's been about 5 years. And I wrote it and I submitted it to some agents and editors, and I got a lot of good feedback, and I got requests for revisions and sent in full manuscripts. And then I started grad school. And for graduate school, I had to write a thesis, which was like a brand new novel. And that took up my entire life for about 2.5 years. So I just kind of put that on hold, and I didn't actually submit it. I didn't know what to do with it. And at the time, vampires were people were like, no, we don't want vampires. They're dead, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't know what to do with it. So I just kind of sat on it. And then after I graduated in 2014, I pulled it back out, and I was like, I should really do something with this series because I just loved it. And I started rereading it, and I'm like, this is so good. I want people to see it and get to know it. So that's when I had some editors do their magic, and we cleaned it up a little bit based on all the fun stuff I learned in graduate school. And yeah, and so now it's out. So it's about 5 years. But I think actually the writing of it probably only took me a year. It was one of my earlier novels. So it was still taking me a long time to write. Now I can write a novel. I can write a first draft in between 30 to 60 days, and then it's the edits. The edits will kill you. The edits take a very long time. Anything else? Feel free, ask away, people, ask questions. I hope this is entertaining. Okay, let's see. I was trying to get to the Rafflecopter page to make sure people are able to enter and not having any problems. If you're having problems, let me know so that I can help figure out and troubleshoot what's going on. Let's see. Of course, I'm having problems because I can't find the screen. There it is. Okay, let's look at the Rafflecopter stuff and see. Okay, so another bonus while I'm waiting for the computer to load. So just as a special thank you to everybody who's watching this feed and who's joining in the celebration of Forbidden Alpha, I actually have a free book for folks. So Trouble with Vodka, which is the prequel, it's the sort of teaser for Dirty Little Liars, is actually free on Amazon right now, today. So you can get a copy of it. It's a fantastic quick read, and it introduces you to the characters in the Dirty Little Liars series. And I will be doing more books to that series too, so don't feel like there's only one book there. There'll be more in that series as well, but you can get a copy of it and just check it out, see if you like my writing and my characters. They're fun. That series is actually really fun too. It's a con artist who is like messing around in political campaigns, and so you can see the politics. I was a poli-sci major, so I love politics and campaigns and all that conspiracy stuff. And so that comes out in my contemporary romances, and you can definitely check out that book. Again, it's Trouble with Vodka. It's on Amazon. It is free right now, so go grab your copy before Amazon changes the price. As well, Forbidden Alpha is on pre-order right now. You can grab a copy today. It'll be automatically delivered on tomorrow. It'll probably be delivered at midnight, but I'm not sure if it'll be East Coast time or Pacific time. But you'll get that if you pre-order. If you don't pre-order, you can purchase it starting tomorrow at Amazon. The price will go up. Right now it's $2.99, and it'll go up to $3.99 after the first week. So if you really want a copy, you should get it in the first week. All right, are we good on questions? Cool beans, cool beans. All right, let's see. Rafflecopter's being very slow. So what else do we have to talk about? All right, so I'm going to do, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and pick one winner now. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. Ha, no way. Okay, so I picked my winner and it's Brittany, who is laughing because she was like eyeing the books. I'm like, are you giving these away? Are any of these my books? So she won the first drawing that was random because she followed Missy Lynn Ryan on Twitter. Aw. Cool stuff. Oops, I lost my page. All right, so I'm not going to do all of the raffles. I might do some, maybe I'll do 2 and then leave some open until the end of the day, or maybe the end of the day tomorrow, since the release is tomorrow, and then I'll notify folks via email who won. That way it stays open, and I know there were a lot of people who are going to watch the recording later, so I want to make sure that they have a chance to claim their prize and do all the entry stuff. So I'll do one more, and then I'll let you guys know which one is available and who wins. So let's do one more real quick. Where did it go? This is pretty cool. It just like pops up like random entries. Let's see if I can do. Oh, I pick another winner. Uh-oh. Add a random winner. Jacqueline Bain from the United Kingdom. Ooh, very cool. So yay, Jacqueline, you just won some books. And let's see, I should have shown the books. See, this is, okay, this is why I need like a total script, like written out step by step with cue cards of what I'm supposed to do. I should have shown the books first. I know there are pictures on the Facebook page, so a lot of people saw and commented on them. But okay, so this is the first set. This is the steamy paranormal set. You can see there's a couple of different copies, and they're all going to be you're not going to be able to read it because the words are going to be reversed. So there's Night Games by Crystal Jordan, Wicked Whispers by Nina Bangs, and Wolf with Benefits by Shelley Lawrenston. And I think 2 or 3, I think actually all these might be signed. So those are signed. And then what else do we have? Let's see. So the second one, this one, I don't remember what I call this one on the Facebook page, but it has Angie Fox in it, Immortally Ever After. I have to keep holding them up higher. And Nalini Singh, who she was at RWA. She gave the keynote for one of the morning ceremonies in New York last week, and she's awesome. She's so adorable and so cute, and she told this amazingly fun story about her very first conference at RWA. And so I will just say that she's a total sweetheart, and if you like reading her books, you would love meeting her in person, and you should totally try and meet her, email her, and interact with her because she's so much fun. So that's one of the sets. And then, yeah, I came up with all these nicknames. I think this was just the signed set. So this is, all of these are signed too. So you have Cole's Redemption, which every time I see the name Cole, I think of Charmed, which I was a huge fan of that show. But I know this has nothing to do with Charmed, so don't think that. And then The Wolf's Fall. Both of those were by J.D. Tyler, which I have never read them, but the books look really good. And I will be honest, I have a couple of duplicates of these books so that I can keep them for myself. And then Rising Fire by Terry Brisbane, which is more of a fantasy romance, not straight paranormal romance, but still looks interesting. Again, all of those are signed. And then more big ones. Oh, this one's fun. Oh, so here's my cover. There's the cover. You guys have probably seen that already. Carolyn Sparks, The Vampire with the Dragon Tattoo. I just love the name. I have no idea I haven't read this book, actually. I've read some of her books, but the title of this book makes me laugh. And then we have Rebecca Zanetti, Claimed. And this is an older novel. It is signed by the author, but she is very, very nice as well. And I know her from RWA. And she has the best pens. So if you ever go to a signing and she's giving away swag, you should totally take her pens because they write really well. And this one is an anthology called Hot Alphas. Laura Leigh, Laurelyn McKee, Shiloh Walker, and Kay Douglas. So it looks like 4 novellas probably. And then also as a bonus, I have this little J.R. Ward teaser. So this came out on July 28th, 2015, and they were passing these out at RWA as a free sampler. So this book is out. It just came out last week. But if you haven't gotten your hands on it, you can, and you win this, you get the free sampler. It's not signed though. I don't think JR was there, but. And then this last one, which is my favorite one, this is, trying to keep everything together, Ryan Love's, a Ryan Love novel, sorry. The Three Fates of Ryan Love. I have not heard of this author, but the book really looks good. And so I'm excited to actually read this one. And then The Burning Sky, I had an arc of this, and it's kind of like a YA kind of, not really dystopian, but it's fun. It's fun, and it's a young adult novel, and it's amazing, and you should check it out. And then I have, that one is signed by the author. And then I have Southern Spirits, another Angie Fox book. I really like her. She's so much fun. Signed by the author. They put these little gold like stickers on them, although not all the authors remember to do that. Like I certainly would never remember to do that. But anyway, so that book is available as well in this last bundle. And then I have another J.R. Ward sampler in that bundle as well. So I'm going to give that one out tomorrow evening, as well as the one with the Hot Alphas. So those two I'll give out a little bit later. And then, yeah. So we did 2. I'll give out 3 tomorrow because we already did 2. We still have 5. So yeah, so those are the books. Enter in the raffle if you want a chance for the other 3 sets. So I've already given out the Nalini one, and where's the other one? What's the other? Oh, I'll save the sexy one. So if you want the steamy, sexy paranormals, enter, because it's still in the pot. Still in the baking. Okay. I think that's it, everybody. I hope this was fun. Thank you for coming and joining and celebrating with me and entering your information. I am so excited to share this book with you, and I would appreciate it if you would check out a copy. You know, you can download a sample tomorrow once it's available on Amazon and just read the first few chapters, see if you like it. If you do enjoy the books, please, you know, blog about them. I'm happy to do interviews or blog posts. Share them with your friends. You can always email me questions or comments. I love talking to readers, and I love paranormals. I love supernatural things. So hopefully, you know, come to my Facebook page, chat me up. I would love to talk to you about all kinds of things, including the last season of Vampire Diaries, because I could just talk about that forever and ever and ever. All right, I think that's it. I'm going to sign out because we're going to make some awesome strawberry basil mint apple cider things. And then I'm going to go and celebrate with my friends and family. So I will see you all later. Thanks for joining. Have a great day. And remember to keep reading. Bye, guys.